Happy Friday, everyone. Glad you can sweep on in to Esports Go. I'm Matt Brown.
And I'm Justin Gillerman. We're starting with the Overwatch League and its second day of the fourth week in their matches. And our matchup of the day was one everyone has been looking toward all week, the 5-1 Dynasty and the 5-1 Spitfire, who came out on top of this one and cemented their place in the league. Dynasty, Spitfire, I can't wait. Going into map 3, the Dynasty are down 2 maps and find themselves in a must-win situation. On round 1, it's neck and neck, but Prophet lands a sick pick on the Winston to stall it out even more. The Dynasty managed to take point B in overtime. It's brought to a 99-99 finish. Flooded goes to seal the win with a close-range barrage, but he is taken out with a Spitfire take back the point and win round 1. Round 2 is back and forth once again, but the Widowmaker plays are in favor of the Spitfire. They slowly take out the Dynasty to gain the point. Prophet continues to oppress on Tracer, landing pulse bombs to delay the Dynasty even more. We have another 99-99 finish. The Diva and the Tracer are all that's left in the end after a big fight. The Spitfire take the win on map 3. The Spitfire go to win on map 4, finishing the day with a 4-0 sweep of the Dynasty. All right, Matt, I have something to say. Definitely not the way I thought this game was gonna go. Like, at all. A 4-0 sweep, Matt. 4-0 sweep. And it didn't even seem like the Dynasty had a chance at any point. The Spitfire came out fast, and I don't think the Dynasty could really recover. And oh my God, Gesture, we'll talk about him a little later, but wow.
Yeah.
I don't know, Matt. Please tell me what happened to the Dynasty. Like, tell me.
Well, all I can say, just like in any other sport, in-game chemistry is key, and this was an example of 2 teams at opposite ends of that spectrum. The Dynasty ran out 5 typical players out of their 6, with one big difference being Guido as a starting support. Who did he replace? Only one of the best support players in the league so far, Ryu Jae-hong, and the team said it was a strategy to catch London off guard, but it clearly backfired. On the other hand, we saw the Spitfire show off a clear game plan that rotated multiple players in and out between maps. Even Birdring sat out a map to let Hoorig take the reins. It was just a lineup that worked against a lineup that didn't. Seoul better make changes before they play the Houston Outlaws today. Now moving on to the Fusion and Fuel matchup. This was a test for both teams. This was a prove-it-to-me game for Philadelphia after they got swept by the Valiant Wednesday, and it was a big opportunity for Dallas to take out a top opponent. Let's see what happens. On map 1, Shadowburn kicks it off strong for the Fusion with a barrage that takes out the remainder of the Fusion, and they easily secure the first point. They're about to take it to the first checkpoint thanks to Carpe dancing around the point and whittling down the fuel. But they can't make it. The fuel tanks are too sticky and they are able to stall long enough for the rest of their team to make it back to help. Pressure is on the Fusion to prevent the fuel from getting past their checkpoint. Taimu on the fuel is back in the lineup and he makes us ask why was he gone to begin with? He lands some headshots and takedowns to secure a few ticks on the point. They're never to pull through, and they take a chance at the first point. The tag team of Carpe and Shadowburn are picking the fuel before they get a chance. The Fusion go on to win the next 3 maps, beating the Fuel 4-0. Okay, Justin, I know the final score doesn't look encouraging, but Dallas had their moments. Their players can see it too. Star player Taimu tweeted this: "Happy to see my progress in my own play and team play, and that practicing hard can bring me back to where I was and also go beyond. Also makes me feel excited to play on stage again instead of feeling stagnant and no emotions. Next stage is ours." Justin, what do you have to say about this game?
This was kind of an odd game to me, just looking at it from all angles. The first 2 maps were pretty close and honestly could have gone either way. Fusion ended up getting both. Good rebound from yesterday's poor showing against the Valiant. But what I noticed is that the Fuel didn't play poorly by any means. They waited for their fights, didn't force anything, and looked like they had a strong game plan when it came down to those last 1 or 2 battles. They just couldn't execute. They found their small openings, attacked, and it's all they needed. Give credit to the Fusion, though. Much, much better defense than Wednesday. In the second game that took place on Thursday, we had the team at the top of the league against the team at the bottom of the league. It was the New York XL taking on the Shanghai Dragons. We start on Anubis, where the XL are up 1 map. Pine hits it off, landing some picture-perfect headshots to set up New York for an easy capture of point A. Point B looks to be just as easy. Libero looks to end it with a Dragon Blade and takes out the supporters of the Dragons. The point ticks on, but at the last second, Dragons members get on the point in the nick of time to stop it. They hold an impressive defense the rest of the game, but it's not enough. The XL managed to take the point. The Dragons need to respond. Dia gets some damage on XL members on the point before being taken out. Libero's hero Tyre from downtown hopes to stop the Dragons' push, but it's taken out of the air before it can deal the damage. The Dragons take point A, but hit a wall when trying to capture point B. Pine lands an incredible pulse bomb on the Dragons' last push, delaying it even further. They try to rush the point, but they are all slowly taken out, but Undead's Reaper. He goes to Death Blossom in a last-ditch effort, but Mono says nope and shoves him away. The XL will go on to win the next 2 maps, taking a 4-0 victory. So as we all expected, the XL walked away with the 4-0 sweep. Shanghai did win some rounds though. Score might make it seem closer than it actually was, but to me I felt the Dragons were kind of throwing all that they could. Using up all their resources, the XL were just able to handle it and do it with some ease. I will spotlight Undead though for the Dragons, who rivaled Pines McCree today, maybe even played a little better for the Dragons, but in the end of the day, the XL are the best for the reason.
And now we finally have an outright leader, Justin. Let's ignore the silly tiebreaker and focus on the fact that we have a team that is king of the hill for now. The only problem is that New York will have an extra large target on its back. See what I did there?
Yeah, I got you.
I bet they'll stay focused this time, as they will face a struggling Fuel team and the Mayhem in their next 2 matches. Now, as we end every highlight segment, we have to bring up the heroes and zeros of the day. My hero has to be Pine. He showed last night that he isn't just a McCree and Widowmaker player. He made some key plays on Tracer and a few other heroes to help the Excelsior take the win.
My hero, and I talked about it, is the one and only Gesture. His playmaking ability as the scientist was second to none last night. 95 eliminations, only 21 deaths on Winston for the night. Just on Winston alone against the Dynasty.
That is impressive. And speaking of the Dynasty, they are our 0-4 yesterday. And Sol, you've been the league favorites since week 1, and you've now been dethroned by 2 different teams that were must-win scenarios, really. That cannot feel good, and something has to change going into the last few games before the end of stage 1. Houston is going to be a big one. We're going to cover that later. All right, we'll take a quick break. Stay right there. You're watching The Go. Welcome back to Esports Go. The co-creator of Counter-Strike, Jess Cliff, was arrested in Seattle Thursday for sexual exploitation of a child. He hasn't been charged for a crime yet, as a bail hearing is set for this afternoon. The police haven't released many details on the arrest, and they haven't specified whether a child was physically harmed. Nevertheless, Counter-Strike's parent company, Valve, has suspended Cliff until they get more information. We'll keep you updated on this story as it progresses.
The Mayhem will be adding a 7th man to their roster. They announced the signing of Junis Zappis Alakurti. They plan to use him in a flex tank role. He's excited to join the team, stating, "I'm reconnecting with players whom I have a long history of playing with or against in the fields of Overwatch, and I'm excited to start working with the team and supporters behind it." Previously, the Mayhem had no subs, so it'll be interesting to see how the addition of a 7th player will affect their rosters in the last weeks of Stage 1.
In the upcoming 10.2 update to Hearthstone, some cards will be receiving some much-needed nerfs. First is Bone Mare, which will have its mana cost raised to 8 mana up from 7. Corridor Creeper has its attack lowered to 2, down from 5. The dreaded Patches the Pirate no longer has charge, and Raza the Unchained had its battle cry changed, so if your deck has no duplicates, your hero power costs 1 this game. The biggest decks that will be affected by these changes are aggro, especially Paladin, which love to run Corridor Creeper in its deck. Machine Gun Priest will also take a hit with the hero power cost being raised from 0 to 1. Overall, these are healthy changes for the game, and those 2 decks will definitely still see play. Coming up after the break, we'll preview today's Overwatch matches. Stay right there. You're watching The Go. Welcome back. This is The Go. Let's take a look at today's Overwatch League matches. First up, we've got a battle of 2 teams just looking to improve. It's San Fran against Florida, and Justin, Florida's finally got a sub to use. Do they use it today, or do they wait till Stage 2 to implement Zappis? Either way, the Mayhem still need to improve their team play within their core six.
Yeah, and for the Shock, they just need to keep improving as a team. The truth is, this team is going to look very different when we get to stage 2. That's when Sinatra turns 18 and he can play. Until then, they just need to focus on their communication and squad movement. We'll find out how good the Shock can be when Sinatra joins the team. Since starting 0-2, the Outlaws have won 19 of their last 20 maps, bringing their overall record to 5-2. But today, they're going to face their biggest test as they take on the Dynasty. Now, Matt, someone ring that bold prediction bell, because I'm predicting that Jake and company defeat the Seoul Dynasty, give them their second loss in a row. Yes, Outlaws defeat the Seoul Dynasty.
Well, after what we saw yesterday, Justin, you're not crazy to predict that. Now, we've seen Seoul shut down specific players in matches, so the question becomes, who do the Dynasty choose to stop in this one, Linkser or Jake? Regardless of who they choose, this game also gives the Dynasty a chance to reconfirm their dominance over the league. That's if they win, and they desperately need that bounce back to avoid going 0-2 this week. All right, we finish off the night with the Gladiators, and Uprising Boston has been playing really well of late. Their players are getting stronger with each map.
Yeah, and for the Gladiators, they're looking to find some consistency in their gameplay, coming off a solid team win against the Mayhem. Another winnable fixture against the Boston Uprising team. If they win this one, they have 2 very winnable games next week. They could string together some victories. So shields up. This is going to be an exciting one to end the night.
Should be a good one today. Hope you enjoy it as well. And for more esports coverage, you can go to our website, challengemedia.tv.
Also, check us out and follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll be here all week with your news and highlights. Thanks for watching Esports Go. We'll see you next time.